tell me you must be joking. My fat chain, I am choking. All through the school, you should be voting. On the MIC, I'm like a pit bull. My brain is so full of words, curves, accents, pronouns. Come on in and sit on down and just listen to what you've been missing. On the floor, your eyes will glisten. I see you wishing on the wishbone. My name's through the school, I'm never alone. Just go off the top and say it'll stop. All I really wanna know y'all. And I'm blacking up, blacking up, blacking up. And I'm blacking up for ya.
Programming that took place as a part of the process that was used to destroy the African people who were brought to this country. And make no bones about it, those people were destroyed. And in place of those human beings, those human Africans, or those African humans who were brought here for the purpose of being enslaved, the process that was used to convert those destroyed Africans into this new creature, which would accommodate the needs and the desires of the Europeans who brought them over here, was what was in effect responsible for this extremely negative view that we have of ourselves and everything like ourselves. You are certainly familiar with, and most of your audience should be familiar with, the infamous Willie Lynch letter, which rather succinctly illustrates how that was approached, this effort to destroy the self-esteem and replace it with self-loathing in these Africans in order to facilitate the creation of this new creature, which would be docile and accept his or her own inferiority automatically, that they would come into the world being taught that they were inferior. And once that was accomplished, we have what we have today. And it's more than just the vestiges of that process of dehumanization, because most people don't understand that the process that produced the slave was a process of dehumanization, because a human being cannot and will not be a slave. You have to dehumanize that person. And I illustrate it this way at our school. I would take a glass and fill it with some colored liquid and say, now, if you want to fill this same glass with some clear water, what do you have to do with the liquid? And they, of course, would understand you have to remove the colored liquid and replace it with something that's clear. Now, you can go about doing that in different ways, but one thing is clear: you have to remove what's in it in order to replace it with what you want in it. And I would then point out that this is what the captors did with our ancestors who were brought here from Africa. They disinvested these beings with their humanity, or of their humanity, and then once they had an empty vessel, they just started pouring in all kinds of other filth and garbage to replace the void that they had created by removing those things that constituted our people's humanity. And so it's up to us now to conceptualize and develop a plan by which we can undo the damage that was done to our people via that first process and restore our people to the human beings that we once were and that we must and are destined to become again.
Uncle Job Snap, Utuapo, and Black Power family. What up? It's your brother in Google. Now you see RENM. And once again, you tuned in to RENM, RBG, TV. We keep the G. Raw and uncut common sense for the common people. Dealing with the common issues, family, you already know we're trying to seek those common solutions. It's all in together now, family. Say nice, loud, and proud. What's the method, the motto, the mantra, the motivation, and the madness? Family, you should know this by now, so say along with me. You should know that it's black love. And you should also know that black love is a cure for the black nation. So let's get it. Shout out to everybody out there, top of the week and the whole nine. I hope everything is going good for everybody out there. Y'all keep striving and grinding in the midst of all the bullshit that we going through. Always got to keep a clear head, stay focused on task, and make sure you execute accordingly. You understand? And that message right there, a little briefly, goes out to the family at large. Man, woman, child, elder, youngin', and those that are not even born yet. You dig? Stay focused. Stay encouraged, if you will. Stay encouraged, if you will. And with that being said, that word encouragement, I want to take this time and I want to encourage my brothers once again. Right? Follow me. You already know the quote. You know the quote by now, family. The defense of the nation rests within who? The men. I'm going to say this again. The defense of the nation rests within who? The men. When other peoples, other nations, other entities, whatever the case may be, anybody comes walking down the block, sees you, right? Sees a man, sees a black man nonetheless. Right then and there, they're evaluating you up and down, if you will. They're looking at you, they're reading you in and out. What it is that you're capable of, what it is that you stand and represent, hold it down for, right? How you flow, how you move as a man in everyday society. And that says a lot. The overall quick glimpse, if you will, granted, yes, everybody has their own opinion. Opinions may not necessarily be correct. But at the end of the day, the visual is very influential and impacting on the mind. That which I see, my mind is going to resonate around that which I see. So therefore, when dealing with our brothers, even the words that we say, follow me if you will, even the words that we say, the things that we do visually, how we're perceived visually, and the things that we say and how we're heard audibly, you know what I'm saying, audibly, or whatever by other people's. That all right there, it begins the, if you will, the judgment process, for lack of a better word, or lack of a better phrase. They're judging you. They're reading you. They're trying to figure out exactly how the people work under your protection, under your guidance, under your provisions, under your defense, under your security, if there is any to begin with. I say that to say this. You should know my little equation by now, family. That which we think is what we speak. That what we speak is what we walk. And that what we walk is what we pass on to everybody around us. Again, this is why I always say things like black love is a cure for the black nation, so let's get it. Because at the end of the day, the beginning of the day, in the middle of the day, all throughout the damn day, it all starts, lives, and ends with you. And then it multiplies from that point on. It's just like you take a rock and you throw it in the middle of a body of water, whatever, right? Wherever that rock impacts at on that water, the ripples are going to go out from there, out from there, out from there, all the way out. If it hits the banks of another shore, if you will. It's going to be continuous. It's going to be continuous from that point on. So therefore, you are like that rock, fam. You like that rock. And the rest of the people out large, if you will, is the rest of that body of water that's thrown, that you're hitting, if you will. The ripples are hitting the rest of the bodies of water. So be that rock and be firm, be rooted and grounded on what you represent, what you stand for, what you look like. My dad used to tell me a big thing back in the day growing up, and I used to hate it. I didn't understand it, but I do now. Thank you, Dad. Image is everything. A lot of people like to say image is illusion, but no, image is everything, because again, that right there is a representation of what you really stand for. The things that come out your mouth is a representation of things that's going on in your head. What do you stand for? Now, I want to take it to two words, if you will. Two words that's often said, but don't understand the backing behind it. Those words are HNIC, or head nigga in charge. Or now, because that's what used to be said back in the day when I was growing up, you know what I'm saying? You the HNIC, the head nigga in charge, or whatever. And even before my time with him. Now it's the whole real nigga shit, right? Forgive my language, family. You might hear a couple things, whatever, but you already know this is the language of the day. We went from, let's take it further. We went from African people, royal in mindset, not necessarily in the whole material and in jewels, because everybody didn't have a palace. Everybody wasn't bathed in gold. But it was the type of mindset that we had. It was the type of energy that we had within our core that gave us our natural wealth. You understand? And that's the type of shit that everybody else on the outside, when they saw, they envied, they feared. But that's another topic for another discussion. We went from African people, right? Went through a little deep. I want to say little. I take that back. Forgive my mouth. We went through a major and a continuous dehumanization process for a long time. And I'm not just talking over here in the west side of the hemisphere, in the west side of Earth, talking about Americas and this, that, and third. I'm talking about from the continent over here. We're talking about up to almost 2,000 years of turmoil straight. Right? What am I saying when I say that? Again, we went from African people, royal-minded people, royal-spirited people, being dehumanized through the ages, through the times, etc., etc., etc. Now we evolved into what has been called the head nigga in charge, or and these times that we're talking about, real niggas. Now let me show you something. Let me tell you something real quick. You're continuing the degradation process, family. Every time we say the same things, and again, I'm saying we because I'm guilty of this shit myself. How dare I come before the family and get on some uppity shit? Well, that ain't the case. I'm guilty of this shit just myself. This is why I'm talking to the family, because we, all in together now, have work to do. We have a mindset to switch. We have a vocabulary to change up. We have a walk that we need to switch up with action, this, that, and the third, etc., etc., etc. So, yes, I'm guilty of this shit too. But we use words like real nigga, head nigga in charge, this, that, and the third. But again, when we say these stuff, we're completely oblivious to the deep, dark history that it has behind it. And that history has a lot to do with your dehumanization, our dehumanization process, the continuous process. And just like I said before, dealing with physics or whatever, anything that's in motion will continue in motion, right? At that same rate, consistently, until it's met with an equal or greater opposition that's going to repel that force or stop it in its tracks. But we're trying to repel it and go forward and progress, right? That's what we're trying to do. Real nigga, head nigga in charge. Head nigga in charge, I'm going to be real with you. That goes back to them plantation days. Straight like that. It's just that simple. That goes back to plantation days. Your overseer on the job or whatever, right? And I'm going to show you how that still connects to modern day times too, today. Overseer on the plantation, right? He got, mind you, it's like 1 or 2, maybe 3. This is just the same way the jails work, right? You got up to like 100-something people in the pod, 100-something people on the plantation, but you got maybe 2 or 3 overseers watching the whole shebang bang go down. Now, one wants to go take a break or go off and do whatever he may do. And you already know at this time, this is going on. They would go pick up one of our sisters, one of our daughters, our mothers even, and go have their merry little crack away. You know how that shit goes, but I'm not going to get too deep into that. But they would take a break nonetheless from what they was doing. But in the minute, the meaning for them to leave off and go somewhere, they would have to pick out somebody from the crowd to hold shit down. One of the good ones, one of the brown noses, if you will, one of the ones that love to kiss their ass, to show face, to save face for themselves at the cost of anybody else around them, right? That became the head nigger in charge, the one watching for massa, the one observing for massa, reporting for massa, taking notes, snitching, informing, tattling, if you will, on the rest of the family at large. Whether they said something, whether they did something, whether they ran off and got their freedom, whatever the case may be. The head nigga in charge is the one that was going to rat your ass out, period. Right? We can multiply that to today. Well, not multiply, but today we can move on up to today's world. That may be your petty ass supervisor on your job today. Everybody has a different story, everybody has a different experience, but I'm just saying this may be the case for some people. That may be your petty ass supervisor, and you already know Negroes love titles and positions. Oh man, if you want to see black people show out, give them a title, give them a position. Head nigga in charge. Top dog now. He's running things now. She's running things now in their minds. Meanwhile, you got everybody looking at you like, yo, I can't wait till you come up, man, till you come up on a slip up, man, because that's your ass. They plotting on you. Because again, you was once one of them. Now you turn for the benefit and for the sake of somebody else who had completely ill will against both y'all in the first place. So whose bidding are you doing? And to what gain are you gaining from that? None. You're just completely separating yourself, causing a greater divide between the family because you want to be the head nigga in charge. But at what cost? Think it ain't illegal, family. Living black ain't wrong. Today, the term is used, real nigga. I'm a real nigga. We real niggas. This is what we do. We real niggas. Again, family, forgive my language. You know I try not to speak like this on this channel, but this is the language of the day. And this is something that you can understand because this is, again, real shit. Everybody want to be real niggas, right? Again, we went from African people, royal-minded people, royal-spirited people, dragged through a degradation process and continue with this degradation process because there's been no force to stop it, thus repel it. Now we've de-evolved into real niggas. And I'm gonna be honest with you, a real nigga is probably like the greatest product of America thus far. Probably the greatest product and byproduct of America thus far. Again, 3Ks, don't get it twisted. We do their bidding at the drop of a hat with no thought process behind it, no remorse. Any type of holding other black people up, best believe you're going to find that black person, a Negro, a nigga, real nigga, out front, loud and proud, leading the charge. When it comes to standing up for the people, you'll never see them, you'll never hear them. Because their spirit is broken. They have no longer wish or desire to carry the energy of a real person, a real man. Women too, sisters too, don't get it twisted. Y'all say this shit too, don't act like I don't hear it. But I'm specifically targeting the brothers on this episode because again, the defense of the nation rests within the men. Nations die because of weak defense, man. Look around. You tell me what you see. Dying every day. Dying every day because we fight to be real niggas instead of real men that our children, our women, our elders, our community at large can depend on. We refuse to do that shit. We refuse to do that shit. And yes, I'm saying we. Granted, I know what I do on a personal, but that doesn't necessarily reflect that of the greater whole. Now, yes, certain brothers are making their strides in his life to step up their game, show their woman what it is to be a real man, this, that, and the third, and I applaud that. Continue, but I'm not going to give you too much reward and too much applause because this is what you're supposed to be doing in the first goddamn place. But I give, you know what I'm saying, A for effort, nonetheless. But we got to keep going. We got to multiply that. Brothers, encourage other brothers. When you see that you're on a path right now that's gaining a positive reaction, is giving you a positive insight, is giving you positive action, this, that, and the third, all throughout your life from the time that you changed, fellas, and go out. You need to go out, find the next brother that you can find and encourage him. I'm talking to myself right now, too. We're all in this together. Don't think I'm talking to you. Again, I'm not one of these uppity folks that just get behind the camera and talk shit because I can. No, I'm in the mud just as much as you are. I see the shit just as much as you see it. I hear it just as much as you hear it. Family, we are all one. Again, the defense of the nation rests within the men. Nations die because of weak defense. Don't you want your people to live? Tighten up your defense. Tighten up your provisions. Tighten up your security. First and foremost, but you got to tighten up yourself. And when you tighten up yourself, you have to get rid of this real nigga complex. You have to get rid of this head nigga in charge complex. You have to, because at the end of the day, it's not benefiting us. Period. It's not benefiting us. At the end of the day, you have the mind and the mentality of somebody that took your shit out and put theirs in. Just like the brother in the beginning of the video when I opened up with that very powerful clip. Our minds were cracked open, replaced, taken out, thrown away, completely incinerated. So the African, the original African is gone. We have to say goodbye to that. That's gone. Yes, it's good to look back into past, you know what I'm saying, past histories and see what we are capable of, what we can do. You understand? Because that, like Mr. Garvey says to us time and time again, what man has done, man can do again. You understand? So we realize this, but at the end of the day, we can't get caught up and just get stuck stargazing in the past. It's good to Sankofa, look back and move forward. Look back, gain insight, go forward. So again, the original African, yes, he's gone. We've been dehumanized, but at the end of the day, do you want to stay there in a sense of dehumanization, or do you wish to go up and elevate? Because again, you have people depending on you. You have children looking up to you. You have a woman who's side by side looking at you, trying to figure out your next move. What you gonna do? Because your next move is going to determine her next move. She is what she is because you are who you are. You understand? Shout out to Dr. Amerson Wilson. Black man, you have no time, no energy, nor even desire or want to even think about blaming your woman, blaming your counterpart, blaming your partner in crime, in life, in progress. Your black woman, blaming her for the downfalls of you, for the downfalls of your people, for the downfalls that you go through, this, that, and third. Again, she is what she is because you are what you are. She gets the energy from you, you get the energy from her. So if again, the defense of the nation rests within the men. If your defense, your presentation as a man ain't shit, best believe she's going to show you it ain't shit by the way of how she responds to you and the way how she acts herself dealing with you. Starts with you, bro. Again, image is everything, man. The way you carry yourself is everything. It's everything. It's everything. Because that's going to determine how other nations deal with you. That's going to determine how other peoples deal with you. That's going to determine, again, how your woman deals with you. And the way your woman deals with you, it also determines how your children from you in that union between you and your woman will deal with you, black man. It's just like that. It's just like that. It's just like that. I know that's a little harsh to hear. But again, I applaud the effort for those that are stepping up. Big ups, kudos, black power, but keep going. Keep going. Get rid of the real nigga complex because all you doing are really stopping yourself. All you're really doing is breeding more nigga mentality, more bullshit, putting more roadblocks in front of yourself. So therefore, you have no room to cry, complain. Yeah, I know what goes on in this world, in this society, especially here in the West. Again, America 3Ks, don't get it twisted. Right? I know what goes on the outside, dealing with these extreme forces or whatever. That's going to happen. I'm not going to say that's just going to happen. It's going to happen. But it's only going to happen until you repel it. You know what I'm saying? It's just only going to happen until you repel it on any level of the game. Whether it be physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally even. Economy even. Educational-wise even. You have to repel this shit, family. Stop embracing it. Stop soaking this shit up. Case in point, look at your media. Look at everything every image from your TV, your radio, your newspaper, your magazines, all these different mediums of media that produce and show an image of black men. Look at what's being portrayed. Listen to what's being said. Everything continuously tells you you are nothing more than a nigga. You are nothing more than a buck stud going around impregnating women and running off. This is the things that go around. So if you continuously saturate your mind, saturate your energy, saturate yourself overall with this type of shit, you are going to be that what you become. I mean, you're going to become that what you listen to. You're going to become that what you read. You're going to become that what you see. At least you're going to die trying. Because you can never be that shit. Because we were never that from the beginning. Again, you're going around with somebody else's mind in your heads. Somebody else's mind in our heads. It's time that we realize that shit, target it and annihilate it. Then recreate a new mind, a new spirit, a new energy. Thus the term new African. This is why we go around be saying that shit. We have to become a new African, a new person, a new people with a new mind. Again, what you think, you speak. What you speak, you walk. And what you walk, you pass on to everybody else. Black love is the cure for the black nation, so let's get it. All in together now. Gut check, get down, or lay down. So again, if you want to continue using these different words, again, remember, words do have power. Words do have meaning. Words carry energy and frequency. And the more you speak, the more you pass that shit on. The more you pass it on, the more somebody receives it. The more somebody receives, the more it saturates their shit. The more it saturates their shit, they pass it on thus by speaking to somebody else, etc., 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 etc. How long we been doing this shit and how long will we continue this shit? The defense of the nation rests within the men. Nations die because of weak defense. Or we can take it a step further, recreate it into this. Nations always live because they have an impregnable defense. Nations always live because they have an impregnable defense. Again, let's do it again. Let's recap. The might of the nation, let's take this back. Yes, let's do the whole thing. The might of the nation rests within the women. The defense of the nation rests within the men. The legacy of the nation rests within the youth. Right? That's the beginning. We're going to break down this men part again. The defense of the nation rests within the men. Nations die because of weak defense. Nations live because they have an impregnable defense. Which one you want? Which one you want? Which one do we need? That's a question only you as an individual can answer for yourself. But as a collective, we need to come together and answer that question with action, not necessarily just words. We got to make it happen. You understand? I want to close out real quick. I want to close out this video with some words, some powerful words, a quick little paragraph from a very powerful speech by none other. And you already know where I'm going. His Excellency, Marcus Messiah Garvey. UNIA, ACL, stand up. 432, you know how we do. I want to read these words. Whatever. I forgot exactly the name of the speech itself. Let me see if I can find it. No, I can't really find the name of the actual speech. But nonetheless, it's hailed up as one of the greatest words he's ever said. Granted, all his words were dope as shit, but nonetheless, this one in particular is what it is. I want to say it like this. Quote, again, these are words from Mr. Marcus Garvey himself. Quote, God made you man, Lord of his creation, gave him possession and ownership of the world. And you have been so damn lazy, you've allowed the other brother to run away with the whole world. Now he's bluffing you and telling you that the world belongs to him, that you have no part in it. I don't apologize to anybody for being black because God Almighty knew exactly what he was doing when he made me black. If black people knew their glorious past, then they will be more inclined to respect themselves. Yes, you heard of Johnny Walker Red and black. Well, he had his adversities, but yet he's still going strong. I'm going to just leave it at right there, end quote. Right? Again, it's good to say Sankofa, it's good to look back, but you can't get stuck there. You got to make it happen in these times right now. Because I'm going to be real with you. And the times that we living in, the way that we living in, the condition that we're living in, us by, simply looking back and speaking, regurgitating the same old about the past, it does make you look foolish. It makes you look foolish because at the end of the day, you're bragging on some shit that you wish not to relive or recreate or even supersede. So therefore, you're just blowing smoke. You're bluffing everybody else, but also being bluffed by the rest of the world who's fooling you, thinking that you have no part in it, just like Mr. Garvey said. Again, black man, time to stand your ass up. Your women are depending on you and looking at you very closely. This is why they're doing the things that they're doing. This is why they're saying the things that they are saying, because they are watching you and reading you just like the rest of the goddamn world is. I ain't gonna be long after this, man. I'm pretty much done with what I gotta say, man. Like I said, man, I'm gonna say this one more time and we out of here, man. One more time and we out of here. The defense of the nation rests within the men. Nations die because of weak defense, but nations live because they always have an impregnable defense. So with that being said, keep it locked, keep it G, man. I am your brother in Google, and ICRANM. Thank you for walking with me the way I walk with you. You know how we do. Always remember, family, thinking ain't illegal. Living black ain't wrong. It ain't. And don't let nobody ever tell you or make you feel that way at all. And if you do feel that way, this is why I say you better take your ass to that mirror and give yourself the ultimate gut check. The ultimate gut check. And then you question yourself, you going to get down or you going to lay down. Uncle Job Snap, who up on Black Power, family. Again, always remember that black love is a cure for the black nation, so let's get it. Thinking ain't illegal, living black ain't wrong. All in together now. Men. Be men. That's all I got. I gotta say. Black power.